Yeah, I didn't get that Loot Crate Infinity Gauntlet of Myth that doesn't work, so I literally did just draw these on with a permanent marker. God, I hope this comes off. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and here we are, the big one. Let's talk about Avengers Infinity War. So Avengers Infinity War is the third Avengers movie, and I believe the 19th movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. 10 years, man. That's insane. And this movie is pretty much everything the MCU, or at least the Avengers, has been building up to. Big purple baddie Thanos is finally getting out of his chair. It's like, okay, you know what? I see all my Infinity Stones. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna wreck your shit, and I'm gonna take them to form my Infinity Gauntlet and wipe out half the universe. So it's up to the now disbanded Avengers, King T'Challa, Doctor Strange, and the Guardians of the Galaxy to come in and stop him from claiming all these 6 Infinity Stones. Now, when the first Avengers came out, it was unprecedented. Nobody ever thought a movie like that could exist. Like, people thought that many heroes was too many. Then we get to Avengers Age of Ultron movie, which I really like a lot, but I know a lot of people don't. Kind of showed that maybe the Avengers formula only works once, then you get Civil War, which I thought was awesome. To which people, myself included, said, is that too many characters for one movie? And I think they pulled it off very well. And now we got this movie, the Infinity War, the biggest roster of Marvel heroes, villains, side characters that we have ever seen so far in a movie, all coming together after 10 years of movies. Like, what's gonna happen? So many characters, so many different story arcs to get into 2.5 hours. Is the MCU gonna be able to pull it off this time? Well, I'm happy to report that this movie absolutely lived up to the hype, at least for me. Okay, first of all, we gotta talk about my man right here, Thanos. I already brought up the whole villain concern with my Black Panther review, but recently I gotta say Marvel has really picked up in the villain department, and Thanos is no exception. Like, the bulk of the character development in this movie is devoted to Thanos. I don't know if I go as far to say that he's the main character, but the one you come out learning the most about is definitely him. Because a villain like this could have been so easy to make black and white and just, oh, he's bad for the sake of being bad. But they take a step further. They show you his side of things. They make you understand why he's doing what he's doing. They show you the fact that he thinks that what he's doing is the best thing for everyone, and that's what makes a really great villain. That's what made Magneto so compelling. That's what made Loki so compelling. That's what made Killmonger so compelling. Like, the key to any successful comic book movie is a well-developed villain, and I think they delivered that in spades. But now we gotta talk about what at least I come to the Avengers movies to see, and that's character interactions. Some of my favorite scenes in these big crossover movies are just when they're just sitting around and just talking. Because A, the dialogue is so compelling, and B, it's interesting to see how all these characters interact with each other. And in this movie, you have so many just cool, crazy character interactions and combinations and bits of dialogue, exchanges. And something I think they do really well is the fact that no two characters interact the same way. And in a movie that hinges so much on how these characters interact with each other, I thought that aspect was done really well. This movie was also great at dividing focus. Like, there's so much going on in this movie, and the scope of this war is just super huge, and just about every story in some way or another got their due. This movie also does a really good job at shifting between different styles and different tones. Like, when you cut to a scene with the Guardians, it feels like a Guardians movie. When you have a scene with the Avengers, it feels like the Avengers movie. When you have a scene with Doctor Strange, it feels like a Doctor Strange movie. A movie where you have all these different characters that have all these different styles and feels to them, tonally you really need to try to keep them authentic. I thought that was done really well. And of course, it's an MCU movie, so you're gonna have some humor in here. And I think it's an answer to the biggest criticism of the MCU, because people have criticized it for being too overly funny. I don't, but I know a lot of people who do. And people will often cite the fact that the humor can sometimes compromise a dramatic moment. Not in this movie. When they get a chance to throw a joke out, they'll throw a joke out, but when it's time to be serious, they take that time to be serious. But on a side note, the humor in this movie, as with most MCU movies, is just so incredibly funny. You also gotta look at one of the biggest selling points of this movie, which is the action. And when you have all these characters, none of which fight the exact same way, you need to try to keep their combat as authentic as possible and relevant to their current situation, which they really did great. Credit to the Russos. I mean, with all the different kinds of action they had to balance in this movie, I thought it was awesome. You also gotta talk about the stakes of this movie. Another big criticism of the MCU is the fact that their movies will often lack stakes, but that is absolutely 100% not the case here. Like, they are fighting an entity more powerful than anything they have ever faced before. And you feel that, you feel the gravity, you feel the weight of the situation. There are quite a few times in this movie where you think to yourself, I don't know how they're gonna get out of this. Which, you need big stakes like that. It makes this feel big, it makes this feel epic. But as much as I greatly enjoy this movie, it's not without its faults. I mean, really, no movie is. It's just a matter of how much the faults compromise the good in the movie. And here, I don't think it does, like, at all. I mean, I already said, you have a huge roster of characters you have to balance, so naturally, not all characters are going to get the limelight they probably deserve. Like, there's some characters that probably should have been in the forefront more, and I imagine the cut of this movie exists where they are. But for where the main focus needed to be, I thought it was a fair compromise. This movie also really hinges on you being invested in this universe. I mean, right from the opening logo, they pretty much tell you, look, if you ain't on board at this point, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what you're doing here. Like, this is a movie made for people who have been fans of this universe for the past 10 years. Right down to the fact that they waste no time just throwing you into the plot, which is really a positive because it kept the plot moving, and I like that a lot. Overall, this is the great Avengers follow-up I was hoping I would get from this movie. You get all your great heroes back going up against an amazing villain. Great balance of different kinds of action, humor, drama, tone, great direction, great writing, a real sense of stake, and a lot of really cool, fun, awesome surprises. Like, I implore you, do not let this get spoiled for you. Some minor technical issues aside, I'm going to give Avengers Infinity War a 9.5 out of 10. I really love this movie. I absolutely cannot wait to see it again. And I really just want to do it so I can do a spoiler review. I know this review was vague. I did that on purpose. I didn't want to give too much away. But unlike another spoiler review I promised, I will get this one out. I assure you of that one. So Avengers Infinity War. If you've seen it, what do you think about it? Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Like, share, subscribe. And I will see you next time.